We're always on deadly ground when talking about underrated Columbo episodes. We all rank every entry differently. Each of the Sacred 69 is likely to be somebody's favorite. Today's Echoes of Columbo is a special challenge. Certain parts universally beloved, others not so much. We're long overdue for a comprehensive re-evaluation of the one where Columbo falls down the hill, the greenhouse jungle. This must have caught 1972 audiences completely off guard. The lieutenant shows up before anyone dies, and he's suddenly got a sidekick. At least for a little while, we get a crime caper or heist story instead of a murder. Then, instead of elegant killer versus slovenly investigator, the script focuses on the dynamic between Sergeant Wilson and Columbo.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
Villain Jarvis Goodland duels a little bit with the lieutenant, but shifts his efforts to bamboozling Wilson. And this allows Columbo to operate more behind the scenes. Contrasted with the naive sergeant and the dour, unimaginative members of the force, Columbo takes on a unique aura, the mystique of a man who is
fast becoming a legend in the department.
When he appears at the end, sitting on that crucial mound of dirt, it's almost like Yoda perched on his log on Dagobah. Falk is fantastic as Columbo here. You can watch the episode just for the strength of his performance.
Last night I had a wood beans. I had without beans. Variety.
The greenhouse jungle subverts our expectations in other ways too. Season 1 has Columbo get along famously with victims' wives, making eggs and palling around with them. Here, Cathy Goodland slams the door right in his face. Ray Milland brought a steely dignity to his previous role in Death Lends a Hand, and I couldn't help myself, but he's got deep red carpets in both episodes. But here he plays one of the most over-the-top, hostile, nasty murderers in the series.
It's been my pleasure to hear you so upset.
And he certainly gets all the best lines.
I'm gonna call up your superiors. Now, assuming I survive, I shall telephone and let you know. What the devil are you doing here?
Jonathan Latimer, a veteran thriller writer, keeps the script tight. It's reminiscent of a Tarantino movie, full of schemes and double crosses. Although the middle schooler in me can't get over the fascination with skid marks.
Notice the skid marks.
Skid marks?
Skid marks. Second set of skid marks. You got those skid marks?
Skid marks, Lieutenant?
There are a tremendous number of subplots, and they all pay off. Cathy's dopey boyfriend Ken, played by William Smith, who replaced Dano in the final season of Hawaii Five-0, gets his comeuppance. Jarvis restores Mrs. Columbo's African Violet to health. Wilson learns from Columbo, and Columbo learns a little from him too. Even buffoonish Grover gets his own little arc, chafing under Wilson's leadership,
I'm in charge here, Grover.
delighted when Columbo takes over, and raising a skeptical eyebrow when the lieutenant praises Wilson. Note the Abe Vigoda lookalike in the background. The gun in Cathy's drawer, which were shown in the very first scene, leads to the villain's downfall. Am I alone in thinking this is one of the most satisfying final clues?
But why should I have to...
The fun interplay between Columbo and Wilson already makes this one of the more comedic episodes. But things maybe go too far by layering on the silliness. Tony Goodland is a goofy character. Gloria West is ridiculous. We end up with Falk playing straight man to a cast of lunatics. Things are so broadly sketched that the episode takes on a stagey atmosphere like a Tennessee Williams play. The greenhouse jungle shines when it's outside, though. These weird, apocalyptic shots of silent, windswept houses where we never hear the wind. And the energetic ransom payoff sequence is a true highlight. You can't help but bounce along to Oliver Nelson's jazzy score. Director Boris Sagal does great work in these scenes, although he's better in Season 3's Candidate for Crime, where the final clue also involves Columbo digging for a critical bullet.
And also proven by ballistics that have been fired by the same weapon. And ballistics is already verified and came from the same gun.
We were always curious about the title. Is it a reference to The Asphalt Jungle, a crime thriller with its own payoffs and double crosses? Maybe, but there's also The Lost Weekend, the 1945 film for which guest star Ray Milland won his Best Actor Oscar. In it, his character describes the city as a concrete jungle.
Not there in that great big concrete jungle?
One more pressing question about this episode. Who is the lady talking to the cop in the background during the chili scene? We see Sergeant Wilson arrive, he asks for some privacy, and then there she is having a lengthy chat and glancing at the main characters. She steps off screen just in time for Wilson to rush over. Who was she? Just a passerby who wandered into the shot by accident? Is this a great Columbo? In a way, I'd say yes. Oh, there are better episodes that strictly adhere to the formula, but there's a playfulness and, for better or worse, a uniqueness sweetness to the greenhouse jungle.
It's good to be positive.
Quick, snappy, bizarre, hilarious, and oddly heartwarming, it's got Falk in top form, a plot full of surprises, an Oscar winner chewing the scenery, Sergeant Wilson, and a tremendous payoff. In a season loaded with all-time greats, I find myself returning to the greenhouse
Solarium.
time and time again.
Oh, shut up, Jarvis.